welcome to Camel City Chat. I'm your host, John McPherson, and I'm joined by my friend, Teddy, the Human Network, Burriss.
I know 6 people, John.
Hey, you can win that game with Kevin Bacon. I'm here with my friend, Teddy Burriss. Teddy owns Burriss Consulting. He's got a great story about why he does what he does, and so I want to talk about that, but we got to ask you the 3.
Okay.
You've seen the chat. You know the story. Folks, we're trying some different things out now. You're never going to believe this. There are 3 cameras on us. We've got new lighting equipment and things like that, so we can smile at that one, smile at that one, smile at that one. We're trying to be a little bit more serious here. Yeah. All right. So appreciate everybody that is watching, all the words of encouragement, and I'll be honest with you, I'm blown away. Please subscribe on YouTube, like us. We'll talk about that. That's kind of funny, the bump that we'll talk about. I got to write that down. We got to talk about what a bump is and that. And then, of course, I brought in my word plug. I want to write that down.
Got it.
But the 3,
Okay.
all right? And no Smitty answers here. You've already said you're going to try to. Teddy, where are you from, and how long have you been in Winston is question 1.
So, John, I'm from Maryland.
Okay.
Which, by the way...
C.J. Johnson's from Maryland. We had him on last show. All right.
By the way, Maryland is below the Mason-Dixon line.
Okay, all right.
Okay. Even though when I moved down here, I knew...
You're still a Yankee.
I know. I'm good with that. People want to refer to me as a Yankee. But, John, there's a little bit difference. You know what kudzu is.
Right.
Okay. And you know what a Yankee is.
Right.
And then just Yankee, not that pre-word. Okay.
Right.
You know, there's a huge difference between this Yankee and kudzu.
In your mind?
Yes, sir.
Right,
I
yeah.
do not go dormant in the winter.
Okay. All right. All right.
So I moved down here in February. Oh, Lordy. February 1997.
Okay.
I brought 4 daughters and a wife kicking and screaming from a brand new community, brand new high school, brand new middle school into Davie County, North Carolina.
Right.
Today, I now have 4 daughters, 4 son-in-laws, soon to have 12 grandkids, and none of us have a desire to leave Winston-Salem, North Carolina area.
Right.
Yeah.
You're out in Moxville. That's where Bum.
Yep, Bum. My wife's grandma name is
Right,
Bum.
right.
By the way, we get mail to the house from clients addressed to Bum Burriss.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and we live in Advance,
Right.
where the new hospital is.
Yeah. And as Cameron Kent once told the joke, where you go pay for gas, please pay in advance.
That's right.
Right. So, so Bum's out there, and then of course there's the stable. You have a stable of son-in-laws, right?
I do. I have a stable of stallions.
Okay, right.
Okay, who have helped produce 12 of these grandkids.
This is a kid's show. Come on now. All right. So you've been here since '97.
Yeah.
Okay. And what brought you here?
An organization by the name of the Bud Group.
Okay.
The
Very
Bud-
familiar with them.
The Bud family
Right.
came to New Jersey, where I was working, and said, "We want you in North Carolina."
All right.
And I said, "Sir, yes, sir."
Okay. Right.
Yeah.
So you came here.
Yeah.
And so where's your favorite place to eat?
My favorite place to eat, and I won't act like my buddy Smitty,
Mm-hmm.
but I'll tell you the newest favorite
Okay.
place. How about that? Is that fair?
Where's the last place you ate, and it can be the newest favorite place?
Incendiary.
That's a good place.
And the rest, and I can't say the word.
Corna Forangino or whatever.
Yeah.
It's the
my-
pizza place next to it.
Oh my God, that is a great business model, and my wife loves the pizza, and I love the beer.
All right, so I will meet Laura. I'll pick Laura up, and we'll meet Catherine downtown.
Yeah.
So we'll go to Kuno or
Okay.
Cugino or whatever.
Yeah.
We'll go to the pizza place, and we'll get they have those little flavored sodas, you know. So we'll get a couple of those. Walk out top. Catherine will come around and park because she's coming from someplace else, and we'll sit at Bailey Park.
Yeah.
My daughter, 5 years old, folks. She dances on the stage and does her own little play for us.
You don't dance?
No.
Okay,
It's,
yeah.
it's I think it's actually an edict, maybe even from the
okay.
Pope, even though I'm not Catholic.
Yeah,
Yeah. But she'll dance there and do a play for us or whatever. There's a food truck out there sometimes. I think I talked with Smitty about loving to go to Alma's and having a margarita
Yeah.
and watch. Yeah.
Yeah.
Of course, you are a connoisseur of what is it? Wheat, barley,
IPA.
IPA.
I'm an IPA. I like some wheat beer, but I'm an
We got to talk about your offices,
yeah,
right?
Yeah. Oh my
We got
golly.
a real one though.
Yeah.
Now. What's
yeah,
going on?
Yeah.
And then, all right. So we've asked where you're from, how long, favorite place to eat. So it's nice to say there.
Yeah.
You can't go wrong with saying the Davy Tavern though. Good place.
I'm good
out
with that
there,
too.
right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And then what's your favorite thing to do around here?
So my favorite thing to do is, I'm not supposed to use the phrase people watch.
Right, you are.
Am I not, or I am?
You're allowed to use it.
Yeah. I mean, I love walking around downtown. I have an office at 500 West 5th now.
I was there on Tuesday, and what a beautiful. In fact, I'll tell you what. I will send Stabler a picture that I took off the top of that. I did one of the iPhone things where you scan across.
A panoramic thingy?
Yeah, so we'll put that in here and let so folks, you can look at that real quick, and we'll put that in.
Well, the magic about 500 West 5th, some of the magic, is that I now will walk downstairs, John, walk 8 floors down, okay? I don't necessarily walk up, but I'll walk 8, and then I'll go walk around the block, and I'll do that once or twice a day. And
clears the mind.
Oh, and I get to say hi to people that I haven't seen in a while, my tribe.
Right.
I love doing that.
Well, okay, so you've written, are we 2 books now or more?
I have 2 books, and I have about 6 ebooks.
Okay, so, and, that's my dream.
Yeah, it's not hard to do. Let me tell you how to do it.
It is. Yeah, we'll talk about it. Okay, so maybe we'll put that on the list of things to talk about, book. All right, so what I want to talk about is how we got to where we are, because you're with the Bud Group. You're no longer there. What did you quit? Did you get laid off?
I got fired for being stupid. No.
Actually, the job before I was a realtor I got fired from. I'll be glad to tell you about that sometime.
No, the Bud Group are good family, good friends of mine. The family are friends of mine. I know them all. They're good people. What happened was I came down here as a technology guy.
Right.
Okay. And I love technology. Been doing technology for a long, long time. And the Bud family wanted me more involved in operations.
Okay.
And so Joe Bud said to me, and Yasser Youssef said, the current president of the company said to me, we want you deeper in operations. And they said, we'll support you to get into that.
Right.
So I got involved in facility management operations. And John, I just discovered it as much as I love people who love doing that work, it's not me.
I got hired to run a retail side at the hospital, and thought I was going to go out and do outside sales and things like that, and I sat in a chair all the time. Yeah, I was horrible for my job. Yeah.
So the Bud organization and we had a conversation, and it became very clear it was time for me to go do something else. And I'm like, at the age I was at, my wife and I made an agreement when we got married, way back whenever. I've been wearing this same ring for going on 42 years. Okay.
Does it come off?
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, okay.
But and so anyway, we made an agreement when we first got married that we were going to raise 4 kids. We were going to have 4 kids. We were going to build a yacht before we were 35. And we built the yacht before we were 35. The yacht was the home that paid for the wedding dresses.
Okay.
And then when we were done raising children, I could go do whatever I wanted to do.
Okay.
All right. I wanted to be a dock boy, to hang out on Smith Mountain Lake.
Right.
And be a dock boy. Put gas in boats, get people, take their fish off, put their fish on.
I've always wanted to be a bellman.
Yeah, I'm good with that. Yeah.
Just now an Uber driver. You and I'd be dangerous Uber drivers. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. But what happened was I decided, being a dock boy is still a little bit too quiet for me. Mm-hmm. And so along the way, for about a year or so at the Bud Group, before I moved on, I decided I wanted to start my own business, doing what I do. Mm-hmm. And I knew I needed to learn how to sell.
Right.
Because I'd never sold before, anything. So I took a sales job with an IT company, dressed up and improved my sales skills, and along the way discovered this stuff that I do today.
Right.
Yeah.
So now let's talk about the mission statement of Burriss Consulting, because I don't think a lot of people know that. You took an hours that we're going to work and divided that into, this is where I'm going to try and make my living, and this is where I'm going to give back. Explain that to me.
So originally I called it the 50-50 plan.
All
when we first put this business together, my wife and I said we were going to give away 50% of our time every day.
Right.
Okay. That's hard to do. Yeah. That's really hard to do appropriately.
Right.
Okay. So today, but that's still very important to us. Very important today. It's on our calendars. My wife and I measure our time individually and collectively.
Right.
How many hours a week is she giving back and helping the community? Mm-hmm. And she volunteers in a bunch of places. And how many hours am I giving back and volunteering? And I volunteer in probably about 5 job search groups.
Right.
That's my give back.
Right.
And it's really important to me. And John, when when I was learning how to put this business together, I talked to a couple people who are really, really good people in this community. 3 of them, as a matter of fact. And all 3 of them said, you have to do this. This is important. And one of them said to me, a gentleman by the name of Gerald, said to me, I love your mission. Just don't become a mission.
Right.
So that's why it's really hard to do it, and you got to be really purposeful about giving away your time.
Well, let's peel back a couple layers here.
Okay.
So you bumped into me last week. How'd you bump into me?
So
It's a purposeful bump, is what you.
did you enjoy it?
I took a shower afterwards. I'll say that, but so you bumped into me. What's a bump?
So here's what a bump is. So there's not enough hours in the day, and I don't have enough shoe leather to be out in the public saying hi to everybody all the time.
Right.
So what a skill that I have developed, and I'm getting a little bit better at, is to use social media to bump into people.
Right.
Whether it's LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, Tinder.
YouTube.
YouTube, yeah. YouTube. So find your audience that you want to say hi to.
Right.
Find the person you want to say hi to. Find their content online and engage with them in some whatever appropriate way. That's called bumping into people.
But see, you didn't say, and so what happened, folks, is Teddy's here because I'm like, oh my gosh, I need to ask Teddy to be on the show after you bumped into me. You didn't say, hey, John, how's it going? You said, I don't even remember what you said.
I just engaged on your video regarding to your video.
You said something like great guest or something like that, or you didn't say. I know you don't believe any word Smitty says or anything like that.
I didn't say that out loud.
But you said something, and I'm like, I called you as soon as I got it. I'm like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
And you're doing a lot of stuff with YouTube, with some of your videos and things like that. So you bumped into me, and that's where I called you, and we started talking. And then I call you the, human networking group. And the reason why I say that is because you're like me. We both have this philosophy. I told you what mine was, and you're like, yeah, I think I've heard of that. Well, where'd you hear that? So when I was an instructor at Winston-Salem State, I was called the plug.
Yep.
Mr. Mack, you're going to introduce us to this. And what's funny is when you're an instructor, they call you Dr. Mack whether you're a doctor or not. So I always love going, hey, Dr. Mack, what's going on? I'm like, hey, it's just Mr. McPherson. And then you can call me John. I don't care. But so a plug is, you connect people.
Yeah.
And you truly, truly, truly connect people. And that's one of the things that, I love about you. We've had the opportunity. You have many offices. Of course, now you have a real one, so I don't know about this. I kind of feel bad, but do you still go to your other offices?
And not as often as I used to. I still like to go to my other offices. And for the sake of those who are listening,
what this.
So when I started my business full time, the end of 2010, I couldn't afford to have an office. I didn't have any money. So what I decided to do was to hang out at Starbucks,
Great
Crankies,
Wi-Fi.
Great Wi-Fi,
Right.
Starbucks, Crankies, Panera, the Green Bean.
Wonderful places prior to lunch.
Yeah.
What happened after lunch, Teddy? And then we're going to have to take a break. So, I mean,
So after lunch, fortunately, I have a home office. I could go back to my home office.
That's not true. You went other places.
Well, there are other offices. Okay, so total
you and
transparency.
I have met at Finnegan's Wake.
I have my. If you ask Opie, the owner of Finnegan's Wake, where Teddy Burriss's office is, he will point to the patio and say that is Teddy's summer office.
No, we met. We had a libation and talked and caught up, and it was a great thing. Yeah. And I like that, but I mean, I also understand. I mean, gosh, you can go down and go to the canteen now.
Yeah.
Golly, Adam's getting ready to open the restaurant there. Young Cardinal, that's going to be awesome for breakfast. You're going to have.
But the concept behind these public offices, last point, before we break, is publicly present.
Publicly present, and that's when we're going to answer the question when we come back, of what's the difference of being in town
and being in the town.
This town, right? Yeah. And then, so we'll come back after this break. What I want to do is we go to break, folks. Take a quick moment. I want you to go to burrissconsulting.com.
Yeah.
2 R's, 2 S's, because he can't settle with just one. BURRISS consulting.com. Check it out. We're going to put the web page up so you can see what it looks like so you know you're at the right place. We're going to take a quick break and come back, answer what's the difference between being in this town and being
in the town.
In the town. And then a friend of mine's losing his job. I want to talk about that. All right, so we'll be right back. Take a quick break. Thanks for watching Camel City Chat. As I said, here's Teddy's website. So I don't know why I went all handsy like that. Did you notice that? I went, and there it is. That was kind of cheesy, wasn't it? Welcome back to Camel City Chat, folks. We appreciate it. Trying some different things here today. As I said, we've got 3 different cameras. We're also talking about maybe breaking it into segments so you can consume a little bit, come back, watch the second thing. Yeah. Then we're going to have to do Pickwick Papers there. I mean, we're going to have to do Charles Dickens. We're going to invent the Dynasty Dallas, type of thing of leave the cliffhanger. So we left the cliffhanger. Teddy Burriss here with me. What's the difference of being in town and in this town?
Well, this is huge. Being a networker,
and explain it to the rest of us, since you gave me that question to ask, because
well, so
you live here but you're not really engaged.
I mean, there are lots of people in this town who live here. What's the old view? I know this guy. He lives near me, maybe beside me. His garage door comes up in the morning. He drives out and he drives in another town. At the end of the day, I hear he comes in, he stops, garage door goes up, he backs in, and you never see him.
Well, for you, for example, you live in Advance.
Yeah.
Right. So, you could get and go to the big box store, but that's a great Ace Hardware there.
Yeah, good people.
And they call you up and they say, hey, Teddy, we got what you're looking for in. Golly, I don't even want to say it. Man, those cupcakes are the best in the world.
Oh, Maddie? Oh, yeah.
Maddie Cakes.
Yeah, I'm telling you.
My wife will pick my daughter up from school, take her to Maddie Cakes, play games on the table, and call me and send me pictures of my daughter eating cupcakes, and I'm sitting here going, oh, I guess I better get that last thing
Not for me today.
No.
Yeah. And if you're in this town, I have a story of a business owner who lives and works in this town.
Right.
And he is on the verge preparing to sell his business.
Right.
He has a very successful business that happens everywhere except for in Winston-Salem. Now, his problem is he wants to sell his business and he wants to find something to do in town, but he basically doesn't know anybody in town. And so my point is, if you want to get more value out of your town, you should be more in your town.
Well, we only have a little bit of time. I'm going to ask you a question that I'm going to regret as soon as I ask this. What organizations is Teddy Burriss involved with? Get the piece of paper, folks.
Okay, so here's all the list. Here's the list of all the associations I'm involved in.
Right.
None.
Okay.
I'm not.
But
pick a networking organization, pick any brand you want to pick, and I've been to them all.
Right.
I've been to them all, locally, regionally, nationally. I've been a member of some national organizations where I learn a lot.
Right.
I learn a lot, and I love that. There is not enough hours in the day for me to go spend time every week in 2 or 3 networking organizations.
Right.
So what I've decided to do is get to know the people who are there and meet them other places. By the way, a really good friend of mine is a member of a local community city organization. I just saw him 10 minutes ago. Right. And we chatted about stuff. We laughed about stuff. And then we arranged to get together and go have a conversation, which these networking groups call it one-on-ones.
Right.
I don't use terms like that. It's just
one-on-ones. Yeah,
it's just 2 dudes talking.
Yeah.
We'll figure out where the relevance is between us talking and our businesses as we do that.
Correct.
So,
I went to lunch today with some friends over in Greensboro, and as I'm standing there, Spencer from Meridian is showing a property over in Jamestown, and I'm like, and he went inside, so I sent him a text. I was like, "Hey, when you get done, come on over to the restaurant." But I'll tell you, it's you just bump into people.
Yeah, but you can't just say I'm going to do these 2 guys meeting, 3 guys meeting kind of a thing. You got to show up.
Right.
I visit these groups on a regular basis. The Rotaries, the Lions clubs.
I thought you were involved more with Louisville Clemens Chamber of Commerce.
I've been a member of all of the chambers.
Okay.
I've been a member of all the chambers, and they're great people. Right. It just doesn't fit Teddy's model because I'm too noisy and I'm too aggressive, and I have no problems walking up to a complete stranger and saying, "Hey, dude."
Yeah.
And so I don't need to do that practice.
All right. So, hey, dude. One of the topics that we said we were going to talk about, and this is where you can go to Teddy's YouTube channel, and we'll what's the YouTube channel?
Oh, I can't remember. I'll give it to you.
All right. So So what we're going to do is we're going to put it at the watch this. It'll be at the bottom of the screen here. Okay. Yeah. So, what I will tell you is, I've got a friend. He came to me a few weeks ago and he said, John, they're cutting my position at halftime. Can I put you down as a reference? I'm like, sure, absolutely. Yeah. What do we do now? I mean, I know that. So I want to do job search, but do we go straight to LinkedIn or what do we do? Teddy, I'm letting you go.
All right. So as a certified career transition counselor,
that's important.
Yeah. No, it's not.
Okay.
Because the style that I was taught way back then, probably 10 years ago, is way different than you need to be looking for a job today. And let me tell you what you don't do. Mm-hmm. You don't ask for a job. You don't look for jobs. You don't apply for jobs.
You tell all your friends that you're looking for a job, and they usually find one for you.
Maybe. Or what you do is you get very purposeful about what it is that you want to do.
Right.
And here's my analogy. I use this. You find people you know who know people who play in that sandbox with those toys. And you get into conversations.
Right.
Far better than what I call the click, 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 pray, 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 apply, 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 beg, 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 stress, stress, stress of applying for jobs like a wild man.
Wallpaper your bathroom with decline, decline, decline.
Yeah. You don't even get enough of those that wallpaper the bathroom. It just doesn't happen. But really, I'm being serious. And any, I don't care what role you're in, entry level to high levels, executive level. Stop looking for a job. Stop applying for jobs. Stop asking for jobs. Just get into really good, open conversations and find ideas.
Yeah, I'll tell you, I've always had a knack to be like a Teddy Jr. a little bit, and when when someone tells me they need a job or something like that, I'll be like, "Well, have you talked to so and so? What about this?" That type of thing.
It's huge.
Yeah, it's the plug, it's the connector part of things. But there are fields that I don't have a clue about, and I'm a loose cannon too. So I guess what are the things that will help? First of all, you're just devastated. I mean, and so. There are groups that you coach with. I mean, they're like support groups, correct?
Yeah, there's I'm proud to list these for you. There's a career support network that meets at 500 West 5th on Monday, and I'll give you a link to the website, NC Wiseman. Okay. There's a group in Greensboro called the Triad Career Network. There's a group that meets Thursdays in Winston called Professionals in Transition. There's another group in High Point called and I can't remember the name, but anyway, it's in High Point, TJSN. Triad.
Will you email me those?
I'll give it to you.
And then what I'll do is we'll
put it in the show notes.
Descriptions.
Yeah. Okay, show notes, not description. Okay. Show notes.
Show notes.
Yeah, absolutely. Show notes, man.
Notes.
Yeah, not description. It's too demeaning.
And this is show notes. This is
job search listing.
Job search. Groups.
Yeah. But here's the thing of these groups. These groups are other people in similar roles. Show notes, dude. That's the words.
All right, go ahead.
These are groups that are people who are going through the same challenges. And man, it's if you go in there with a positive attitude, you listen to the ideas that they come across. Here's what's really cool. A room of 10 people. Somebody in that room knows somebody you need to talk to. Mm-hmm. That's why I tell them to go do that. It's rich.
Yeah, no, it's just a struggle, and I mean, and if you don't get support, you're on your own, you're not going to do it. Yeah, and that's I have a friend of mine who he had resources to get jobs but never asked for them. Yeah. Wanted to do it on his own. And I'm like, no. If you've got someone that if so and so owns this business, talk to them. Yeah.
There's a story about. Getting milk.
Right.
A good friend of mine told me this story. I just published it on one of my online somewhere. I think it's on my Facebook. And her mother died. Right. And a lady walked up to her at a funeral and said, "How can I help you?" And this friend of mine said, "I don't need anything. I'm really good, and I appreciate you offering."
Right.
Well, as she was leaving the funeral home after burying her mother, she realized she had to stop and get milk.
Right.
And then she said to herself, "Oh my God, that lady offered to help me."
Right.
And I said, "I don't need help." And she broke down in tears because she really didn't want to go into that store and buy milk.
Because she's going to bump into somebody. How's your mom doing? Oh, you didn't hear she passed away. Any of those things.
So she turned down a legitimate, sincere offer to help, and she should have accepted it.
Right. And it was something simple.
Get a gallon of milk.
It amazes me the analysis paralysis that we get in so many things. Why do I want to do that? Just like this show. I mean, we did real estate radio on WSGS for 11 years and 4 months. And YouTube and the the video side of things is something that I love. This is what I did in college. And now we've got this forum to do this. I mean, it's an eclectic group of individuals in and around Winston-Salem. Occasionally we're going to pepper it with real estate stuff. But, I mean, it's fun. I'm learning, getting to know more about my town because I'm that guy that until 2012 never set foot on Winston-Salem State University's campus. Never been there.
Yeah.
You know, I didn't. I wasn't until I was 30 or 28 before I went to what's the hot dog place over on Walltown Street, the good one.
Walltown hot dogs.
Yeah, the drive-in. I mean, I mean, I grew up here. I've been here since 9 years old.
I moved down here in '97,
right.
And I drove 801, I-40, 158, 158, I-40, 801. I drove that for 5 years, and then all of a sudden I said, I wonder what all that other stuff is.
Right.
And that's when I discovered, oh my God, this is a great place. Yeah, I'm with you.
Yeah. I didn't even know. I mean, I didn't even go to Greensboro, and then you go over there, you go to Friendly Shopping Center. It's great. Yeah. You know. So, all right. Yeah. I'm gonna put you on the spot.
Okay.
You ready?
I'll take it.
We got Stabler's gonna set up a LinkedIn profile. What's he got to do? What's the top 5 things you got to do?
Man, I charge for this, dude.
I know
charge
you do.
An arm and a leg and 2 kneecaps, and you want me to give it away for free?
All right, so the top 5 things you need to do on
LinkedIn.
On LinkedIn, yeah.
Okay. All right, Stabler. So you guys can't see Stabler, but he's a nice-looking guy. I think he could put a picture of himself on LinkedIn.
As long as he doesn't do that Justin Bieber hair looking.
Yeah, he's got to fix that hair, dude.
Right?
I'm playing with you because he wants. But
no.
number one,
a nice picture.
A picture of you, just of you. You don't need to pay $250. And Megan, my daughter, and M. Jewelry Photography, don't be hating on me.
Right.
You know, but just a nice looking
picture. We just got a down thumb, I think. From
I guarantee you. She just said,
right.
You know. So number 1, have a nice looking picture of you. Number 2, okay, you want to tell people who you are and what you do.
Right.
And if you don't clearly know that, you have to work on figuring that out. Okay.
And you can ask people.
Yeah, get focused.
Because I'm not good at writing, which that's the book thing that we'll talk about.
Yeah. And here's the other thing. Number 3, do not consider your LinkedIn profile as a resume. You know what a resume really is?
Are you talking about, what's that thing called? I forget what the what's a resume?
It's your ongoing obituary.
A resume is an ongoing obituary.
Well, it is it not? I worked here, I did this, I did that. Your LinkedIn profile is your professional brochure.
So your ongoing obituary. What's the other thing that they call that the colleges, they don't want to call it a resume?
CV?
Yeah.
So as a career coach, I hate all those things.
I hate them too. I had to do one because for accreditation, and they're like, hey, we did a CV for you. Just make sure it's good. And I'm like, what's a CV?
Yeah.
But it's a brochure.
You got to think of your LinkedIn profile as a brochure. Picture, tell people who you are and all your content. Don't think about it as a resume. Here's the other thing you need to do. You just can't put it out there. Mm-hmm. You can't just build it and hope that somebody's going to bump into it.
No, you got to bump into them.
You got to bump into people. You got to connect with people and use LinkedIn networking to say hi to people. Start with people you know, trust, and respect, and in time connect with other people who play in the sandbox that you want to play in.
So, buddy of mine, Jeff Grizzle. Right? After college, he got a job in Winston. He's from Fayetteville. Moved in, lived with me for 4 or 5 years as my roommate. Got married. The weekend he went to go get married, he left living with me. He was supposed to stay with a week. So
Was it stressful?
Yeah, I'm sure. And he's got a son. His son's in college. Does a LinkedIn profile. I'm looking. All of a sudden, I get this
invite
from him. Yeah. I got a 20-year-old asking me to. Yeah. How smart is he?
Oh my God, I love it when the kids of my clients say hello to me on social media. Mm-hmm. That is really cool.
And I'm trying. Stabler is younger. I'm trying to get him. I told him, I said, it's probably time for you to start an LLC and name your video company and then you can be whatever. I don't like when people put president of whatever. So I have McPherson Real Estate Group. I finally, after 5 years, I said I guess I better say I'm president of McPherson Real Estate Group. But I work with Coldwell Banker Advantage, and so that's just the company that pays me, which is great when you're self-employed if you have a W-2 because it's my company paying me. Yeah. But so LinkedIn is something that I really have not done. Now, you and I have gotten together a time or two and looked
times.
at it.
I've tried to encourage you. You resist me.
No, and I mean, I should be putting this on LinkedIn.
Yeah.
But it's I don't know how to do it as well.
Well, John, it comes back to this: purpose and goal.
Right.
Purpose and goal. If you have a purpose focused on a very deliberate goal, where LinkedIn can play a role in that, then you should be considering using it. Now, if you don't have a real purpose and you don't have a real goal that's related to LinkedIn, don't waste time playing on it. Yeah, I'm with you. Purpose and goal.
It's the shotgun effect in a sense of things. You need to be more of a sniper.
You do.
Right.
Yeah. And a lot of people want to use it, just like you said, for that shotgun effect. And you got to be, my words are very purposeful and focused. Absolutely. Right. Yeah. So.
I just, to me, that's got to be one of the greatest fears in the world. And I remember when I lost my job, and what it was is I was told, you can either quit or we're going to fire you. And I'm like, well, I want you to fire me. And it was like, well, we're going to give you 3 more weeks of vacation, double the vacation you had accrued. And I'm like, oh, when do you want me to quit? And so, I remember I went to the car crying, loaded my stuff up and wondered what I was going to do. And, took some time. And you got to work on you. And then when you're in the right place, you start to look, because I think people panic and get into a situation maybe worse than one they were in.
Yeah, that's hard. As a career coach, I really coach people through desperation, and you can't be desperate in career search. Here's the other words I use very purposely as well, John. Stop thinking about it as looking for a job,
right?
And think about it as having a business conversation with people about business opportunities. It's a whole different mindset. Start in your mind,
right?
Adjust how you think about it. And I'm not saying you're not going to get rid of the pain and the angst of being fired or losing your job, because that's real.
Right.
That really is not. You can't ignore it. You've got to acknowledge it and work through it. But as you're acknowledging that pain and working through it, change your mindset from looking for a job into having business conversations about how I can help somebody create success.
All right. So we've stolen some money from you. No?
Oh, no, I gave it away free.
Free advice.
I gave it away free. I gave it away free because I want to.
I want to take a break. I want to show your Burriss Consulting website one more time here. And then when we come back, let's finish up with talking about how to write a book. And then, you got to give me 1 or 2 more job search tips. Is that okay?
I can do that.
All right, so here's Burriss Consulting's website, and we're going to be right back with more Camel City Chat. Welcome back to the chat. Again, if you're just joining us, which would be kind of weird since it's a YouTube thing, but we might be breaking these up. So, again, we're growing. Any comments that you guys can give us to tell how you'd like this show to evolve, I really would appreciate it. I'd love for you to subscribe, and I also would love for you to, like the video. We're also on Facebook, so thank you so much for taking your time to watch this today. I'm here with my friend Teddy Burriss. Teddy runs a company called Burriss Consulting. It's got many different facets, but I think the biggest one is probably networking and job search. Is that good?
Networking and LinkedIn.
LinkedIn? Okay.
Yeah, all networking and LinkedIn. The job search is mostly
personal.
That's the give back part.
Okay.
So yeah, there's really no money in that intentionally.
Right.
Yeah.
Unless they send you a nice Christmas gift.
And I'm good with that. Yeah. Craft beer, Sixtels.
Craft beers. Okay, so here we go, folks. I've always wanted to write a book. I dream of writing a book. I can't write a sentence. I struggled as president of Winston-Salem Realtors Association in writing a speech. So I'm very conversationalist in my writing. So talk to me. What do I do?
So here, my first book.
And what do I write my book about?
Oh, I don't know, man. We need to come up with something.
Yeah,
okay?
There you go.
So a good friend of mine, Nigel Alston.
No, Nigel. Yes.
Nigel. I told Nigel one day that I was thinking about writing a book. You know what?
That's the worst thing you could ever do.
The worst and the best thing I ever did.
Yeah, he'll get you going.
Every time I saw him, he said this: "Where's the book?
Right?
Where's the book?" So the moment you say, "I want to write a book," then you're obligated to tell yourself, to get yourself into the mindset of how to do it. Now, let me give you some tips.
All right.
Don't worry about being a writer. Don't worry about being a writer.
Okay.
Write it. And the best way to write a book is be purposeful. That word fits me a lot. I use it a lot by myself. But know what you want to talk about. What do you want to write a book about? Okay? Cameron Kent. You might want to talk to Cameron.
Know Cameron quite well. Yeah.
Cameron's written a lot of books.
He signed, he actually...
He's working on a new deal.
When he was out and wrote the book before he came back, we were selling the book, and we had him come back to sign books at KNS News.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, so great guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So just write, and come up with, here's what I want to talk about, and here are 10 pieces that I want to talk about, and then just start writing.
Okay.
Don't worry about grammar, all that ugly stuff, and don't worry about spell check. Don't worry about sentence structure. Just get it all out there.
Right.
And once you
Right.
sort of like it, but once you get it all out there, now you can go play with it.
Right.
Now, here's where we struggle. Some of us don't know how to write. So when I start playing with it, I sort of like make it worse.
Right.
So what I recommend, unless you want to invest a lot of money, is find a good editor,
Right.
somebody you know, and ask them to edit your book. Pay them a reasonable amount of money. You don't have to go out and hire a New York bestsellers editor. The first book, nobody expects it to be perfect unless you're going to write, the big book. But write a book. Just write a book.
You could buy A Time to Kill out of John Grisham's trunk of his car for $10 a book.
Well, you can buy my books on Amazon and Kindle for $10 a book. Yeah.
He drove around and he would speak at different places, and he'd have that book in the back. Of course, when the firm exploded, it was a little bit different from that.
My first book, I had 50 copies in the back of my car. Yeah. So just write it. And then once you write it, then you'll believe in yourself, or you'll discover that you aren't really that excited about
That
it.
you're good at doing videos on YouTube.
or stand on a street
works.
corner,
Right, yeah.
So...
All right, so you don't have to be a writer, and just write something.
Here, I'll tell you, my first book is called Networking for Mutual Benefit. It's on Amazon.com.
And that's what the next thing that we were talking about.
Well,
networking and job search. So that's called a segue.
Yeah, but I don't want to segue completely. I want to tell you a story about editing. So I wrote this book, and I hired an editor.
Right.
Okay, and I paid him a reasonable amount of money. I thought it was a reasonable amount of money. I'd never worked with an editor before. I had no idea what to expect.
Right.
He said, when you get done writing it, send it to me. So I sent it to him in a Word document, and then about 3 weeks later, he said, all right, here you go, and he brought it back to me. Okay? Well, I looked at it, and it was okay. All right, I saw where I missed some grammaticals, and my editor missed some grammaticals.
Right.
But I went ahead and I published it anyway. It gets out there, and today a good friend of mine, who I didn't know back then, bought the book.
Okay.
She emailed me. She said, Teddy, I absolutely loved your book. I wish you would have hired an editor.
I have that ADSHD. Have you ever heard of this?
Yeah.
So it's AD, attention deficit. Ooh, shiny.
Yeah.
And so I tell you, that's another thing for me is staying focused on that. But fortunately, with ADD, sometimes you can actually get too focused in on something, and then it's like, hey, John. Oh yeah, we're doing a show.
Yeah.
But it is. That's a struggle too.
Yeah.
But it's all about writing, and I thought about just trying to write a story of what happened or something like that. Yeah. But I don't. I don't know.
Yeah. By the way, my second book.
Yeah.
Because she jabbed me, she edited my second book for free. And I learned how to work with an editor.
And then the first guy called and said, "Why didn't you hire an editor?" No. So I want to finish up a couple questions. One is any more job search tips, because I know this is. See, I'm not taking money from you there because this isn't the bread and butter LinkedIn.
Yeah.
And again, all you have to do is go to burrissconsulting.com. That's BURRISS Consulting. We'll put the link.
Yeah.
But check out Burriss Consulting. Learn more about Teddy and also his LinkedIn videos. They're great. They're quick. You can learn, why didn't I do that?
Yeah.
I know I actually have LinkedIn Premium now because I did the education side of things.
The LinkedIn Learning is good stuff.
LinkedIn Learning.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of interesting.
Yeah.
But any more nuggets for the job search before we go on?
Yeah, so job search, again, I made this very blunt statement: stop looking, stop asking, stop applying.
Right.
I also tell people, whatever you want to, I had a young lady I talked to this morning, and she wants to get into purchasing.
Okay.
She's been in accounts payable and in the accounting department, but she wants to get into purchasing. So I said, great. How many people do you know who do purchasing?
Hey, guess what? I got a friend of mine that's a head of purchasing for two. I have two friends that are heads of purchasing. 3.
Yeah. Yeah.
So there's your plug right there.
You got to let me know if you want to
Yeah.
meet my buddy John, so
Yeah.
my buddy John can introduce you to other people.
She needs to subscribe and like this video.
But
Right.
that's important. People say, I want to go to work for this company. Great. How many people do you know there? People say, I want to do this kind of work. I want to transition in this kind of. Great. How many people do you know who do that?
Right.
You've got to get to know that. And the best way to get to meet people who, my analogy, play in the sandbox of the toys that you want to play with, is ask people you know, who do they know that do that?
Right.
And ask them for an introduction for a conversation.
Right.
It's powerful. Yeah.
And it's I've got after I taught 2 classes at Winston-Salem State. So after I graduated, they called me up and said, "Hey, would you do that?" I'm like, "Sure." So I've got a young lady that's in thinking about getting into healthcare.
Yeah.
That's what called me. So we talked, and I said, I've got an opportunity. If you're really thinking about getting into healthcare, let me know. I've got a friend of mine. She's vice president of something for like 18 hospitals. I'm like, I can call her and ask her, and she'll let you hang with her for a day.
Yeah.
And she's like, "Oh, I'm real interested." I haven't heard anything back yet, but I think that but I know that if I had someone say, I just really don't know how to understand LinkedIn, have a drink with Teddy.
Yeah.
He'll look at it, laugh at you, and tell you, "Go watch these 10 videos, and then we'll talk."
Yeah.
But I mean, it's true. And when I say you'll laugh, I mean you're kidding, because if you don't kid with people, you don't.
Well, you got to have fun at what you're
right.
doing. Otherwise, it's a job, and I don't have a job.
Mm-hmm. So Camel City Chat. Now, I know you made the comment, a friend of mine, Kelly O'Connor Moore, used to be at BB&T, because I'm not jumping the thing. She told me, she says, "John, that needs to be bigger."
Yeah.
So we're going to look at that. We've talked about maybe putting it on this wall and things like that. And then I see this is, if you can tell, this is perfect size for it to go in there.
Yeah.
So that we could do that. But, so we're making some changes. I've thought about putting chairs here instead and just doing a conversation. But one of the things that is important to me is Winston-Salem. I've been here since 1977, and I think it's probably one of the best places in the world to live. Yeah. I think it's one of the best places in the world to live because it is the smallest large city in the world.
Yeah.
And what I mean by that, of course, is you just saw a friend of yours. You may never see somebody like that, in New York City or something. But I mean, these big cities, you just don't run into people like.
Yeah.
And but the other thing is you meet Stabler today. I bet you if you talk for 5 minutes, you guys have a mutual friend. That's because everybody knows everybody. So to end the show today, where do you feel like you're home? Winston-Salem, and we'll even go to Davie because Davie's awesome. Yeah. But this little area of the world, where do you see us going, and what are you hoping for?
I love the community I live in Davie. I got lots of friends out there, but I call Winston-Salem home. And Winston-Salem for me, actually I use the word the Triad,
right?
And because all of it, there are unique perspectives and activities going on in High Point and Greensboro and Winston and Davie, but I call it Winston is home.
Right.
Where's it going? Look at the press that came out today, where Wake Forest has taken their name off the Innovation Quarter because the Innovation Quarter can now stand on its own feet. Mm-hmm. Okay, stand alone. And look what's happening with all the construction. Look what's happening right in front of 500 West 5th. Winston is working hard with lots of great leaders who are trying to make this happen at making Winston more, here's my word, they may not use this word, but more of a neo-metropolitan community. And what that means is you work, they've been working toward this for years, you work and live and entertain and play in the same town.
The same sandbox.
The same sandbox, yeah. I could stay at 500 West 5th in a year or two. I could get a condo right in front of 500 West 5th. Mm-hmm. I can get a condo on 4th Street. I can get lots of different places. Where it's going is Winston is going to become more of an entity where lots of people still come in, but more and more people live, eat, drink, sleep, work, play. And that, for me, is uber exciting.
It is.
Uber exciting.
Because when you got here in 97, it wasn't as... So I used to deliver Sunday New York Times downtown. Okay? So what it was is I got paid $35 a Sunday. My brother got paid $72. So I used to deliver them. And what I will tell you is we literally... I'm sorry, I'm looking at my watch. But we literally had like 3 stops downtown.
Yeah. Yeah.
Magazines, there was the adult bookstore next to Camel City Pawn Shop.
I've heard about that. Never been there.
And really, I thought I saw your name. No, and then the Rainbow News was behind where 4th Street Filling Station is in that house. It wasn't in the. It's moved several. It moved several times from then, but that was it.
Yeah.
You left downtown. You never went downtown. Yeah. You ate in a restaurant downtown. It was in a hotel. Mm-hmm. And now, I mean, heck, it's Wednesday night at midnight, and people are still out doing fun.
Which is, for me, is just really, really exciting to see
awesome.
that. Yeah.
Well, I can't thank you enough for being here, taking the time. Folks, what I will say is one, check out Teddy's website. It's Burriss, Burriss Consulting.com. It's got all of his information on there. Learn more about him. Ask him to maybe come to your company and help out with LinkedIn. If you will have a list in the show notes.
There you go.
Of different job search sites and things like that are groups that get together to work with people that are finding, searching for a job. And then all I can say is thank you for watching Camel City Chat. Please like, subscribe this so that we can continue. We've got some great guests coming up. We're recording 2 shows tomorrow and I already have one for next week. And I think I've done some things and got some different people that are interested in being on. And so it's only growing. And we would just love your input, likes, and subscribes, please. Thank you. And we'll be back next time with more Camel City Chat. Thanks so much.
Thanks, buddy.
I really appreciate it.